Hi, I'm Lynn Stone. I'm a professional illustrator, and today I'm going to show you how to draw a really great image. So we're going to start with the rabbit. So we need an oval shape about so big. It's not a perfect oval, it's slightly flatter towards the top. And then we're going to overlap that with a much bigger, oops, slightly too big I'd say, oval shape about here. I'll just get rid of those bits. It's a little bit too big. Oh, that's marked paper. Never mind. Okay. And then we have a shape here, like so, and another shape here, like so, and a shape at the back, like this. Okay, next we need to do the ears, and think stretched egg as a shape. So it's a kind of very strange looking egg shape. It's along with the top. And then the same for the other side, but make it a little bit more narrow, like so. The nose is about here, so draw across and down, like so. And the eye, you want the eye quite large because it's a baby. About that big. A little corner there. And a little corner there. And what I do with all eyes actually is I'll draw a section like this, which I'm going to keep white, and then I shade in around, and that gives a little touch of light to the eye. We then have dots here for the whiskers. We can start adding a few whiskers to our rabbit, and a kind of almost like an eyebrow round the top here, and some shading in here. At this stage you can actually get rid of some of the original guides, okay, so that you can see more clearly what you're doing. And then the inside of the ear, it kind of is joined at the bottom, and then it fans out and comes to the top, fans out, comes to the top. And I'm going to add just a slight hairiness to it. Okay, now we look at the front. We've got we place this here just as a guide to start with for the foot, so we can draw the foot over the top. We can add the claws. Again, we want to make this edge fluffy, like so, and then we'll take the original guideline out. We can add the claws. Again, we want to make this edge fluffy, like so, and then we'll take the original guideline out. We need to keep this guideline in actually, because this is going to be the back of the bunny's head, and that's roughly how to draw a baby bunny rabbit. How to draw a duckling. And again, we need some guide lines in order to do this. So first of all, we need a circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, it's just an approximate circle, like this. Laying slightly over the top of that, we have an oval, like so. But quite a fat oval, make it quite fat, don't make it too narrow. A shape that will eventually become the beak. And then the feet, it's a little bit more complicated with the feet. We've got a shape like this, then the shape again but reversed, and then we add an oval shape for the eye. We can add a bit more detail to that later, I'm not too worried about that at the moment. And then we need to add the little duckling wing. So we have a shape like this, which overlaps the original one towards the end and has a little bit like that towards the end. So we're going to join up these shapes a little bit more. And this, you might find this bit a bit difficult. Draw them like the parts of the feet like this first of all, to get them into position, if you find that easier. And then with each shape they've got a sort of rounded bit here, and then the claw at the end, or a rounded bit here at the end. So now we need to give this duck a bit of a personality, so we're going to do the similar thing with the eye, little circle, then we fill in the rest to create the eye, and we're going to give him a nice fluffy down, so we go all the way around our original guide on the outside. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of some of the guidelines that we originally had, if I possibly can, and you can even add a bit of shadow underneath as well. Okay, and that is how to draw a baby duckling.